You ready to get started there, Big Hoss?
Only if you're ready.
When would you say that you get in the Christmas spirit? That you start to feel like it's Christmas time?
Oof. That's what man. You ask questions, and once again, I feel like I have to say this because I people don't understand that we do literally zero prep for this part of the podcast. Um, I just had this conversation less than 12 hours ago with somebody. So it's interesting you'd ask the question. I don't actually get in the spirit of Christmas. I don't think I have moments where I guess I get in the spirit, but I don't feel that I have the time to truly appreciate Christmas.
I can understand that. I do feel you and I are both parents that you just get so busy getting ready for Christmas, and then it's like 20 minutes, and then it's
Yeah.
over. But you're also kind of sick of it by the time, so it's
Well,
okay.
well, it's like it's and once again, if you don't have children, and I'm not hating on you, but I do feel like when you have a family, say you go to like a Christmas tree lighting, like a city's Christmas tree lighting, right? You can't really enjoy it because you're with your kids. Like you go to a holiday party. Like there's always something on your mind that prevents you from truly enjoying something. I feel.
I don't know if you feel like this, but I think that a lot of people feel like this, that as a dad, you're kind of always on. Like no matter what is going on, you're kind of always on in the sense that you need to be able to handle any situation. So I would say that even though I enjoy things much more because of my children, I also don't enjoy them because you're kind of always on at the same time. Like you never really get a chance to sit back and just take it easy a little bit.
Yeah, you never do. And I think it's actually worse for all the women out there that, especially maybe if you're a mom listening to this podcast, I see you. We're the dads are on heightened security or on heightened alert, but the moms are, they're on DEFCON 10.
Oh yeah. That's the hardest part about it. I think about being a parent, and we're not going to turn this into the parent podcast like you always want to. You're either at a 2 or a 10, and there's never anything in between. I feel like it's 2 or 10, and
It's
that's it.
I'm not turning into a parent, but I'm just saying I think that's why I can't truly get into the Christmas spirit. I mean, but I do have moments like, Michigan, the part of Michigan where I live, got like 4 inches of snow this past week. It was nice. I got
Okay, just for the record, it's 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the show. John has brought up weather.
God
You
damn it.
brought up weather already.
No,
Two minutes
but
and
but
40 seconds. You
but
brought
it's
up the
in
weather.
it's in relation to the question. I was able to for like 5 minutes look out into my front yard with the Christmas lights gleaming off the newly fallen snow. But then I have to go out and shovel it, so all of it's ruined. You know what I mean? And then I have to go to work and blah 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 blah. Like so, yeah, the spirit is ruined then. So I have glimpses of Christmas spirit.
I think that you need to kind of focus on making life what it is, right? Like it's only wasted time if you're wasting it. Like you can look at it as like, oh, I got to go and do this pain in the ass thing shoveling the snow, or you can think like, oh, this is part of Christmas. I can get some exercise and do two things at once. I think you got to adjust your mindset and be more positive and take advantage of your time, not waste it.
You know what? As long as the Christmas eggnog keeps flowing, I've actually never had eggnog. Have you had eggnog?
It's disgusting. I've tried to get drunk off of eggnog, and that was probably one of the worst day afters of my life.
Why would that just sounds terrible?
It's awful. That's one of those things that there's no way you can have more than one glass of that. It's just too everything. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I feel disgusted. Eggnog, fruitcake, terrible things. Terrible things. But
I
we'll
will
talk
say
about terrible things about Christmas life.
I will say that in my neighborhood, it does seem like the Christmas spirit is flowing. There seems to be an exorbitant amount of people. Big word alert. That have decorated for the holiday. So good on them. Good
My
on them.
neighborhood had more people who decorated for Halloween. There was a lot of people who decorated for Halloween, and I don't know what they're doing for Christmas, but their stuff's not up yet.
Did I even get a chance to tell you last week the curveball my wife threw me regarding our inflatables?
Just go ahead and tell me. This is one of those conversations that, if I'm curious, but I also have no interest in knowing.
Well, for those of you that have followed the podcast, you know the saga with my father-in-law. who comes up here and puts up inflatables in my front yard. This year he put up 27, and we're sitting there one night at dinner, looking out in the front yard, and my wife looks at me and she goes, "I'd like you to take them all down, please."
Oh, you need to put a foot down either with him or with her. Like, you
No,
can't just keep playing pinball back and forth like that.
I was thankful. I think she's finally starting to see how terrible 27 inflatables from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle to Woody from Toy Story that has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas can look in your front yard.
I agree. I don't think you should have so many inflatables. I mean, 27 is a ridiculous amount. 2 to 3 tops. If you live on a mansion, a palatial estate, I'll give you 7. But 27 is ridiculous. You don't even have room to walk in your yard.
No, it was nuts. It was nuts. Here's a question for you, holiday related, since we're kind of on the topic. If you have a big enough house, 2 Christmas trees okay, or only 1 Christmas tree?
1 Christmas tree. What do you need 2 Christmas trees for? People waste their money on crap. Like, I don't care how big your house is. I don't care if you live in the biggest house in the world. You need 1 Christmas tree. Because really, you're just dividing up the celebration. It should be 1 focal point. People buy too much stuff, man.
I think I'm okay with it. I think if you have a big enough estate, upstairs, downstairs, tri-level, I'm okay with multiple Christmas trees on the different floors.
I'm not.
Obviously, you have to have 1 Christmas tree that is the Christmas tree, but decorative Christmas trees I'm okay with as well.
I'm against waste in all its forms.
Did you eat everything you? Oh, hey, by the way, nice pancakes this week. I have to give you a shout out.
Thank you. They're excellent pancakes.
They actually looked edible, which is good for you. So congratulations.
What is it like knowing that even though that you've spent years cultivating your craft of smoking meat, and no matter how much meat you smoke, you'll never be as good as making pancakes as I am? That you'll never be the chef that I am.
Just so everybody knows, when you see those posts on our social media, that is not me. That is Nick all day long. If I were to post food pictures, which I would love to do side by side someday, we could let the people decide what looks better on appearance alone.
I've seen your brisket. It looked burnt and tough.
I mean, I'm not. I have made briskets that are burnt and tough, yes, but
I don't mess up pancakes, so there we go.
You can't mess up pancakes.
You can't. Yes, you can. Okay, this is my rant about breakfast food, since now we've somehow gone down this road. Breakfast food is very hard to mess up, but very hard to do well. Like, it's really hard to find good eggs or good pancakes or good waffles. But they're all like, all right, that's okay. I've eaten breakfast many, many times out and at my own home, as many people have. And I can name maybe 2 or 3 places that I would say that was good breakfast. Breakfast is hard to mess up, but hard to do well.
I don't necessarily agree with you. I will say the one thing I do agree with you on is eating out at breakfast restaurants per se, or whatever, brunch spots. There is only one place where I think I can think on it and go, yeah, like they make something that I could not make that is just fantastic.
It's hard to do breakfast right. But anyway.
And of course it's a dish that,
Don't
only
say
snobs
dish
eat
like
probably.
You're classy. Don't say dish like you're classy.
I'm not. All right.
Dish. Don't do that.
What would you call your pancakes? Just pancakes?
Just pancakes. Food like a normal person?
Anyways. All right, let's get some shout outs. Alessandro Stacchi, Frederick Showalter, Rally Mills. Don't see a lot of rallies.
I don't know if I know a single rally.
Or is it Raleigh? I think it's I don't know.
How do you
Maybe it's
spell
Raleigh. Like the capital of North Carolina.
It's Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh, not Raleigh. Raleigh. Anyways, Hilda Lemke. Oh boy, I was really picking out some interesting ones because you don't see a lot of Hildas.
No, that's an old-timey name. I wonder if old-timey names are coming back.
Glenda Fidel. Felicity.
Hilda, Glenda. You got a Barbara in there.
Wait for this one. Leonard.
That's an old-timey name. Old-timey names must be coming back.
Leonard Bechtelard, Felicity Harris, Monty Sanford, Asta Cremine, and Zora Abbott.
I don't think I know a single Monty. Montgomery, but no, I don't know a Montgomery either. A lot
Yeah,
of
I don't
name.
know.
I don't know a lot of people named that.
Well, I mean, they're all taken from our social accounts, so apparently we draw older people
I
names.
guess we just have a lot of people with old names.
Oh, Nick. All right. Anyone ever call you Saint Nick? Probably not.
All the time. I always had to be frickin' Santa Claus at every Christmas place I was going to. Was Christmas because my name was Nick, and everybody would say the same thing during Christmas season. It was like, "Hey, Nick, you're Saint Nick. You want to be Santa Claus? Hey, we got a Nick." Like, God dang it! I'm like the de facto person who has to go to the tree in front of the family and pick out the presents because my name is Nick. Hated it.
God, I wish I could have been there for that. I don't remember that when we worked
same
together.
joke all the time.
We probably worked on Christmas together, but I don't remember ever working with you on Christmas.
Yeah, those were around adults, man.
All right. I don't know how to bring this up, but it's definitely the largest viral story of the week
Okay.
that has been. What the hell is going on with our social medias blowing up with these UFO sightings or drone sightings? Like what? I say that, and I would not classify myself a conspiracy theorist at all. And if you are, great for you, but I'm not. But there has to be a logical reasoning behind this because clearly they're drones. They are happening. They are out there, but I can't find a single effing reason as to why they're there.
The thing that I don't understand about it is it's obviously some kind of secretive thing, right? Like it's not aliens, it's not anything like that. It's either some kind of secret Department of Defense thing or some company testing something secret. But what I don't understand is like if you're going to do that, how do you not know that everybody's going to wonder what's going on? Like how do you
Right.
just be like, "No, nothing's happening. You're flying a giant thing over major cities." Like why don't you go test that in the middle of the ocean somewhere or where people aren't going to see it? Like, so what? It's
Yeah,
amazing to me the thought process of like we're gonna do something really secretive and not tell anybody about it. Where are you gonna do it? We're gonna fly it right over the top of New York City.
Well, and
Shouldn't you do it somewhere else?
for those of you that maybe don't pay attention to social media or the news at all, and I don't blame you, I mean, look it up. It's interesting. It definitely seems like some kind of secretive Department of Defense something. Just the way that the drones are. I guess one of them crashed too or something. I don't know, but I heard maybe the most reasonable thing for this is that they're gonna be for inauguration. They're gonna do like a drone parade for Donald Trump. I mean, I don't know. But then again, I don't know why you would test that at night, and I don't know why you wouldn't tell people you're doing that.
Like, why would you do it in the most obvious place at the most obvious time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That makes no sense, but it's definitely, I mean, yes, it's not aliens, because if it was aliens, we'd be fucked, because we'd already be dead. They're not just going to hover for 2 weeks.
No.
Right? Which,
I am constantly fascinated by how groups of people make decisions. Like if you have a group of people, they will somehow make the exact wrong decision. Like every person individually will know that this is a bad idea, but the group all together will make the worst possible decision. It's like, how do we all dry ourselves off from the rain? Go in the ocean. Like,
yeah.
no. Like a group of
Yeah.
people will make the exact opposite decision than they should.
Like, how do you get warmer? I don't know. Don't add any clothes to yourself, but complain about it. Like,
Right,
yeah,
exactly. Like do the opposite of what you think you're supposed to do.
I don't know, man. It's wild out there. There's a lot of crazy things happening, but hey, at least we have this podcast that apparently is going to stand the test of time. So
2025 coming in hot, man.
coming in
25
hot.
baby.
Yeah, that's the truth. All right. So Christmas lights. Quick question to you about Christmas lights. Do they have say? First off? Do you put up Christmas lights?
Yes.
Are you one of those kind of people that have to have the same kind of light, or are you gonna mix and match? Maybe get the bigger bulbs and have the shorter bulbs. Are you gonna? Is it all gonna be uniform? Is it gonna be one like strand of lights that you're going to use?
if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it properly. I'm not gonna have like 10 different strains of lights out my house like some kind of idiot. Like I understand if like okay, if you're talking about you can't afford this, this is that, I get it. Totally get that. But if
Mhm.
you're gonna try to put on a thing like you can't be making a decision without financial reasons to be like, you know what, I'm gonna get white lights here and I'm gonna get colored lights on the next strand, and then no uniform. You got to be organized in life, man.
Well, and that's kind of how my wife. I almost said my mother-in-law. That's how my wife was like. I don't want these inflatables in my yard anymore because they
It's not organized.
looks not very well.
I don't know if I've ever seen
So,
people do different strands of lights or different sizes of lights within the kind of same framing structure. You can have one size of lights in the bushes and one size of lights in the house or on the house, but you can't have. Oh no, no, keep
well,
it right.
you should. I mean, you're going on vacation soon. You should fly by my house. You can see it. Thanks,
You,
Rick. All
you
right.
know what? Stop blaming him because this is it your house or is it his house? So whose house is it? Yours or his?
Listen, Nick. My mother-in-law is coming in for 2 weeks soon.
Okay, so whose
it's
house is it?
not my
Is it
house.
your house
I'm
or
just.
is it his house? Whose house is
I'm.
the house?
I'm
Do
just.
you
I'm just.
own your own home? Do you just
Just.
go through life letting everybody tell you what to do all the time with no backbone to stand up for the things that you want? Is that the kind of person that you're going to be? Or are you going to stand up and say, no, we're doing what I want to do in my house?
I'm gonna move on from that.
That's you're just going to get trampled, right? Just
Yeah.
let people walk all over you all
I
your life, John.
I want to give. I don't think that's necessarily true, but I want to give a random little kid and his father a shout out this week.
Okay.
Uh, my youngest had a Christmas concert, which was probably the biggest sham I've ever been a part of. Uh,
It's little kid Chris. It's not going to be Shakespeare, man.
it was one song that was a minute 30, and it took up 2 hours of an evening for that. But the best part of it was, other than seeing my daughter enjoy herself, was there was a kid there with a with a shirt that said "It's a Butte, Clark," and he had no idea. This kid was 5, right? But just seeing that little boy with that shirt, like I looked around, and I was like, I don't know who your dad is, but well done, young man, well done. Then it got
Good.
me thinking: is that one of the most iconic Christmas characters?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
The uncle from National Lampoon's Christmas. Jesus.
So the answer would be no. Like I
Clark the
don't. I'm,
shitter's fool. Nothing.
okay,
Have you?
shitter's full. I'm familiar
Yeah,
with, right?
that's the
But
same. It's the
no,
same guy. It's the same character.
no, man. Like Santa is the most iconic character from Christmas.
No, I said one of. I didn't say the most.
No, I wouldn't put him in the top 10 even.
All right.
I mean,
Anyways,
you go Santa, you go Rudolph, you go Frosty, you go the Grinch, you go Clark Griswold.
come on.
Like, no, he's not in the top 10. Maybe
But
not
it's
in the top 20.
it's Uncle Eddie, man. All right. Last thing here. Do you? So it's obviously the holiday season. If you're out to eat, do you tip more because it's the holiday season, or do you just give the regular, whatever you're going to give?
No, I stay pretty standard throughout the year. Now, I'll tip people or I'll give people a present like the post people and the garbage people. Like, I'll give them something on Christmas, but I'm
Mhm.
not going any higher on tips. Like, I stay right at 20%.
Okay. Nice. All right.
What do you do? Do you get in the holiday spirit?
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously I'm not going out the way that I used to. I don't think any of us are as you get older. But I'll unless I'm not tipping like $100, on a $30 bill. But I'll try to give a little more. Maybe write just a nice note. I don't know. It kind of all depends on the situation. But yeah, unlike you used to be in this situation, news people, emergency responders, like everyone's working through the holidays. So even the slightest, smallest kind gesture can kind of uplift somebody's spirits. So
Yeah, I'll let somebody else do it. I try to maintain.
that's
I
fair.
try to
and that's-
maintain like a slightly above average level. I don't usually go in for things big or anything like that.
Well, you're not used to big things. I get it.
I'm not at all. Can't take big things. Never been able to take a big one. Little ones, I can take those all day long. Give me all the little ones.
I,
But you get a big old rocker in there. It's too much
I,
for me to handle.
I've known you long enough. I know.
Luckily, I don't really know anybody who's got big things. Are you ready for our top 5, or do you got more stuff?
We should just move on. That's a good segue into the top
Okay,
5.
okay. Uh, so our top 5 is top 5 worst things about Christmas. What's your number 5?
Financial worries, I'd say.
Oh yeah, man, if you're gonna bring that, you put that at 5. I would
Yeah,
have put that. I could see that as number 1, honestly.
absolutely. I didn't want to like have that as my number 1 though,
Oh, I got
but
you. Yeah, that makes sense.
but yeah, definitely because I feel like there's a lot of parents that feel that they have to do something for their children or whoever, so they may open up a credit card, they may put more, like they just spend, they go above their means,
Yeah.
and it's it can quickly turn into a holiday of fun and excitement into like, oh shit, January's here, and I have 3 credit card bills that I can't pay.
That's tough when 2025 is coming. It's not
Yeah.
on my list, but like, oh, the new year's coming, and like
Yeah.
all the repercussions of all this joy and merriment is about to hit you.
Yeah.
That has to be tough for parents, I would think, or for people that like, okay, I don't have the financial means to do this, but I also want to have fun and be a part of the celebration. That's got to be a huge push and pull. So yeah, that's kind of a serious thing.
Yeah, that was financial worries. That's my number 5.
My number 5 is family. I like seeing my family. I also like when they leave.
Seeing that, I would think that could be higher on the list. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I don't know if it's the family or so much the break of the routine. Because it's a bunch of people who kind of really know who you are and also don't know who you are at the same time. Like they
Yeah.
really know you because they knew you growing up, but they don't know you as the person that you are now. And I think that those two things kind of conflict with each other a little bit.
I mean, listen, if you got families that want to celebrate, I say celebrate, because some people don't have family get-togethers. I haven't had a family get-together in a decade.
Oh man. Well, let's leave that alone.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. I have a feeling this is gonna be really uplifting. Good
Yeah, you're
list.
making this way too sad.
Um, well, wait for my number 4. Uh, uh,
That's just number 1. That's the next one, so I don't have to wait too long.
just ugly Christmas sweaters. Like people that go out of their way to dress for Christmas, and like I just don't care. Like I just or like especially the people that wear like the reindeer, headbands and things, and like I don't know, just it's just not for me.
Okay, I mean, I can understand a little bit of Christmas cheer there, Grinch. I don't think that you need to be lashing out at people who wear reindeers or Santa hats. I love it when people put those things on their cars. That always brightens my day a little bit. But I can't believe the ugly Christmas sweater thing is still going. Like, we're still doing that? That's been 20 years almost.
I actually just said to my wife the other night, we were driving and I got cut off by somebody that had the reindeer antlers on their cars. And I said, I'm about to be a fucking bull and run them into a ditch. So.
Wow, that's aggressive.
That was aggressive. I apologize for that. I did not do that, obviously.
A little bit much.
But, so I am not a fan of people who decorate their cars right now.
Okay, all right. I mean, you know what? If somebody does something on a scale of 1 to 10 that's a 2 to you, you don't have to go 9, man. You can just be like, you can
know
just
me.
honk at them or flip them the bird. You don't have to, like, run them off to death.
You know me. Well, I just put them in the ditch. It doesn't matter. What's your number 4?
The dead zone, but after Thanksgiving, where you really, like, you're mentally checked out. You're totally mentally checked out pretty much the week before Thanksgiving. You're pretty mentally checked out for the rest of the year. But then you still got to, like, slog through 2 or 3 more weeks of effort. Like, this whole time, should we just be done this whole time?
See, I don't agree with that. I think that's an old traditional way of thinking. I think most people, like, you can't go into the slog. Like, my work is busier than ever right now. Like, I can't slow down, and I'm working extra days, extra hours, like, which adds to the stress of the whole holiday season.
Sounds like you gotta get a new job.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Like, you gotta get another job. All right, what's your number 3?
This is where I have family at, just in terms of, like maybe the forced holiday gathering where like you're only going because maybe Aunt Jean asked you to be there, so you feel bad if you won't go, even though you haven't seen her in 20 years, or you have to drive 3 hours for a 2 hour event,
Oh yeah.
just, it's, if you have families in that love each other and get together, great. But it's like the other families that try to come together and that you don't talk to all year. That's kind of what I mean.
Do you actually know any family where you would say they all get along? Like
No.
all of them get along? I don't know a single one.
I will say I have a couple of good friends that they, no matter what happens, they get together on Christmas and Thanksgiving with their close families, but they don't get along with everybody all the time.
Yeah, I go back and forth on if it's better to stay connected or if it's better to bail. Whatever somebody's decision is, I can go both ways. My number 3 is lines. I detest all of the lines. I don't like to wait in any lines. Everything seems to take a little bit longer on Christmas.
I put it on my honorable mention, but I had like going to the grocery store just to buy groceries is gonna take you an extra half an hour right now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be forever. What's number 2?
Just being lonely. Like if you are just have no one to share the holiday with, or maybe you lost a loved one, around this time. Like just loneliness. Nobody should be lonely during the holiday season.
So sad.
I mean, worst things about Christmas. I mean, that's.
You gonna throw like climate change in there? Like what else you gonna? Anything else negative you could find?
I mean, these are bad things about Christmas, the holiday season.
But I mean, they're kind of bad things about all the times, really.
Well,
I think that Christmas makes you think about it a little bit more. But...
My number 1 is not. It's serious, but it's jovial. So.
Oh, okay. Are we on my number 2? Is that your number 2?
Your number 2.
Breaking down boxes. I hate breaking down boxes and all the cleanup that comes with it. Hate it.
See, I don't mind. I get it. And I feel like 95% of the rest of parents would understand that. I actually recycle the boxes for my eBay store that I do, so I'm okay with it.
Well, you plug for your eBay store? I have been doing this. We have been doing this together for 6 years. I have known you since 2013, 2011. Didn't know you had an eBay store.
It's not very big, but it's there.
What are you selling? What are you selling? Candles?
Trading cards, figures, books, steins. All kinds of things.
Crap. Just crap.
Well, what's that saying? One man's crap is another man's treasure, or something.
What's one man's trash is another man's treasure. There's also don't yuck on my yum, which I respect both of those, but I look at all that kind of stuff as like, oh, I'm just selling junk. Like all that stuff is stuff I'm taking and throwing in the garbage.
I don't even know what that means. Don't yuck on my yum?
Yeah, don't hate on the things that other people like.
Oh, well, everyone's welcome here on this podcast.
Yep. What's your number 1? Except for our family, so we don't want to see.
Fake ass Santas.
What's wrong with fake Santa?
All right, so I'm gonna give one quick example for 30 seconds. Took my kids to an event. Didn't know Santa was gonna be there. Santa was there. It was a man who probably weighed 150 pounds, with a suit that was about a 5X, and his beard was falling off his face, and he had a super dark mustache. And one of the little girls called him out, and then he got all flustered, and we never saw him again.
Yeah, if you're 150 pounds, don't be Santa.
So,
like, if you don't look the part, don't play the part.
I don't.
Nobody should have hired him.
Listen, I don't. My kids see Santa, so I'm kind of a hypocrite in saying this, but I do feel like mall Santas and other Santas are. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's a weird tradition that I've never truly understood, to have your kid sit on Santa's lap and tell him what you want.
It is a little odd that we spend years lying to our children. Like,
yeah,
just keep this lie going. Just keep it going. Like, no, that's Santa. He's real.
Well,
I hope my children aren't outside the door.
Well, and then when they find out that he isn't real, it's like you're the asshole, right? Like it's your fault.
I don't remember ever like finding out as a kid. I don't remember like a moment of, oh my gosh,
I
Santa
do.
was real.
I have the I could detail it like in excess. So
Do you want me to ask you the question I'm laughing about?
no, maybe, sure. What are you laughing about?
What do you remember more? Um, Finding out that Santa wasn't real or seeing your parents have sex?
Fuck. That's a tough one, because I'm kind of well.
Well,
I'm more
yeah.
scarred. I'm more scarred from my parents than
Oh yeah, dude.
You grow up from Santa. I mean, obviously, but at the time, Santa was probably a bigger deal.
Oh yeah, because you didn't know what they were doing then. Now looking
Yeah,
back on it, like I wonder when my kids are gonna figure out that like why do mom and dad sometimes go downstairs on Saturday afternoon? Like what are they doing? Why do like one day they'll figure
yeah.
it out?
Why do
Like
mom and
what's this candy that dad eats on Friday and Saturday nights? Like how come he's
yeah,
the only one who eats that? Like, living my
yeah,
life.
it's trauma, man, trauma all over for all of our kids and ourselves.
No, it's part of life. My number one is that it's just over. Like it's just over, and I would say that Christmas is
Oh,
honestly kind of over by
wah, wah, wah.
2 o'clock. Like it's just over. Like you'd have all of this build up, and then it's just over in like 30 minutes or a couple of hours, and then you're like, okay, wait for another year for that, for people to be
Yeah,
happy again.
I mean, I don't know. I, I mean, I say it's probably over like around 8 o'clock that night, 7, 8 o'clock that night,
I feel like it's over by the afternoon.
and it's
2 o'clock is the time I would put on it.
if you live in a cold state, I feel like as soon as that gets into the 26th, you're like, well, mother effer. Now I have 3 months of nothing to look forward to except 10-degree weather.
Yeah, that's what's bad is I feel like the time after Christmas until basically March is the hardest part of the year. So it's kind of like you did all this thing and then the year just crushes you right afterwards. Like you hit a high note and then you're brought immediately back down to the worst, and then you gotta like go back around.
Some could say that's life, though. It never lets you
It's
get
like
too high.
no, it doesn't. It'll check you every time. What's in your honorable mention? Do you have anything?
Yeah, I got so food, and by when I say the worst part of Christmas can be the food is, I mean there's so many examples of like just family members making bunt cake, or those stupid what was the jelly with the fruit in it? What do they call those things? Couldn't remember.
Oh, that's not a
Um,
fruit cake, but that's something else. It's like a
yeah,
Jello mold or something
yeah,
like
but
that.
Jello, fair enough. Or just like candy canes. I don't do candy canes, so the food can be a little much. Um, Also, I put down cold weather, but basically, like if you want to go do something outside, go look at Christmas lights, blah blah blah. It's usually friggin' cold as hell, which is never fun. And then just I just put kind of down like relationships in general. Seems like they can get more strained than usual during the holiday season.
Yeah, I can see that. When I do see family, I try to separate it out a little bit. Like I like to see one group of family and one group of family, but not mix the whole family together. That's I think where you run into some issues. Um, yeah, I don't really have anything in my honorable mention. I mean, I don't like stuff like eggnog, and I don't like stuff like fruit cake. So some of the food I can understand with. That's
Yeah.
annoying. I hate having to fake like I like a gift. I hate having to fake
Yeah.
like I like a gift.
Yeah, I don't, one thing, there's a family member of mine that loves to go to the Dollar Tree and Family Dollar and buy like $20 worth of crap and give it to you.
I don't want that.
And it's
Just keep
like
it.
I would have just rather taken the $20 bill if that's what you wanted to do, and I would go spend it on liquor. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd much rather just give me money or give me a
yeah,
lottery ticket.
yeah. Ain't
That's
that
what
the
I'm
truth?
gonna do. I'm gonna get some lottery tickets.
Good luck.
Roll
Don't
it
break
all
your
on
leg.
Santa.
Don't break your leg snowboarding.
Oh, that's a mean thing to say. I hope I won't. It's probably my hip. You usually don't break legs snowboarding. It's usually more like your wrists and things like that. When are you going skiing?
Probably sometime in January, I think.
Okay, so that's not gonna happen.
I have one more follow up for my calf because that's still there.
Oh boy. All right, before you start complaining about all your issues,
Hey, what do you think about my basement?
it's looking a little bit better. Do you ever plan on doing something with it?
Yeah, duh.
Or, oh, did you already?
No, you were supposed to cut off the episode right there. That was
Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to stop the episode as soon as you bring up the
Jesus.
weather. All right, I'm stopping it. Merry Christmas. Did it stop?